Hello， 大家好，欢迎来到10万个为什么。我在上一期节目中呢谈到了人为什么要结婚。今天我请来了我的好朋友 Sammy 那 Sammy 呢，他已经结婚，然后他是香港人。今天我们要用英文来做这个访谈，跟大家分享为什么在一个家庭中，丈夫和妻子往往差异很大。You are from Hong Kong and your husband is from America.
Yes.
So you must be very different.
Yes. I never thought I would marry a non-Chinese person when I was growing up. But I really think that aside from learning about the other culture, I think actually I've come to learn more about myself through marrying someone who's not Chinese. So I think one thing that I realized is I'm actually a lot more Chinese than I thought. At first I thought I'm not very Chinese, or I don't think the way my parents think, I'm different, I'm younger, I'm more Western. But when you get married, a lot of your values and your root beliefs, they come up. When Americans are pretty direct, like they kind of say what they want, and also I think Americans tend to, they empathize more, they emphasize feelings, more. But Asian culture is like, okay, you're a little bit more indirect, you say things, but you try to maybe say it differently.
Especially when you say no.
Yeah, that, or when you have conflict.
Yeah. So is there any specific examples?
Yeah, so for example, there was one time where my husband was talking to me and I was busy. I was doing something, obviously with kids and different stuff. And then he got really kind of hurt that I wasn't really listening to him, And in my mind, I'm thinking okay, come on. I'm doing 5 things. Can you just give me some understanding? And I kind of just was like, why do you feel that? That's silly, you shouldn't even feel it. You should just not feel it. You should just be okay, but then I realized actually the root of that is I'm not really valuing him and really and I realized that's from my culture, growing up, I was not allowed to feel, when you're a kid, don't cry, don't laugh, don't, just be normal or quiet. And so I think and then that's when I realized, I really need to value what he feels, whether or not I think he should feel it or not, it's not my judgment, Right.
So this is really good that you can them yourself first.
Yeah.
And that can be a tip for the marriage couple.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to, the purpose of marriage, If the purpose of marriage is to learn to love sacrificially, I think every challenge, hardship, or difficulties, I think it's an opportunity to allow God to show us things that we can grow in as an individual or as a couple, rather than most of the time people are like, well, forget it, we don't match, okay, we get divorced, we don't feel the same thing anymore, I think instead of just thinking, well, it's the other person's problem, then we don't fit, and okay, bye-bye. I think really it's an opportunity for growth and to learn. And I think in that way, you actually come to know yourself and how God made you more, and you get to know your spouse more.
Yeah.
So I really believe one reason why God put different people together is to help us to learn to not be selfish in loving. And it's a character building. Yeah, it takes hard work. I mean, I don't like to change what I think and what I prefer. And I think it takes a lot of really preferring and wanting the best for someone else rather than the best for me. Yeah, and I think it's funny because, they say opposites attract, which is true. Usually the opposite attract. But at the same time, that also means the opposite will fight because it's very different. And the way you do things, the way you think, maybe even, your personalities can be very different. And I think there's a lot of beauty in that. I think of puzzles. Puzzles are very different. Each piece is different. But if you can fit it and work together, it becomes so beautiful. And I think that's something that also I believe God wants to do in marriages. When we learn to love sacrificially and really come together, it shows a unity and a working together that also represents what God talks about him and the church together. There's a fitting, there's a unity, there's a way that we love each other sacrificially so that together we're stronger. I mean, if you try to pull a puzzle piece apart when they're locked, it's pretty hard. You don't need glue, you just lock it and boom, you can try, but you break the pieces.
Yeah, I think many people understand the concept. You know, they know we have to sacrifice, we have to love each other, we have to love my husband, my wife, but they just cannot do it. You know, it's like super hard for them to really sacrifice. So, do you have those moments like you feel like you cannot?
Yes.
Why I'm always the person who sacrifice?
Yes, absolutely.
That's another why question. You know, why always me who understand you, but you never understand me?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I have had moments where I'm like, okay, like I just cannot do this in my own strength, in my own will. Like, I cannot just will like, okay, I'm just gonna like, you know, listen or forgive or and I think that's where I really think marriage needs the foundation of Jesus, really. Like I think apart from Jesus, I think it's impossible to truly love, because without God really loving us and experiencing God's love and our hearts being free and being like, okay, like I am loved here, I have unconditional love, and even healing too, because there's hurts in marriages. It's normal. We're like sinful people, you know, friendships hurt people, each other even. So you can imagine in a marriage, you know, the hurt is real. So I think you need Jesus. You need Jesus to heal your heart, to give you the love, to give you the strength, to give you the grace to love the other person. And so, yeah, many times I've just gone to the Lord. I'm like, I just simply cannot do this. Like, I need your help. Like, I need you to come. And yeah, sure enough, he does come and help me. He comes and he shows me his love. He speaks to me through his word, and he shows me like how he is there for me so that I can be there for my spouse.
Wow, that's so good. Thank you so much, Sammy. We really hope people who are single right now and who are preparing for marriage, or people who are in the marriage, to really think about, you know, why do you get married and how do you love your husband and wife. See you next time.